share this video with everybody you know. A criminal cartel is openly getting away with murder, and mainstream media is laying cover for them. Here we go.
Congress is not alone in stepping up to try and rescue this economy. The Federal Reserve, the nation's central bank, is taking emergency measures to help businesses and Americans alike, cutting interest.
So the Federal Reserve is going to rescue the economy, help businesses, get Americans out of a bind, because that's what the Federal Reserve does, right? They just have perfectly above board intentions.
Rates, buying up hundreds of billions of dollars of debt and offering.
How are they going to buy up hundreds of billions? No, it's not even that. It's trillions. How are they going to buy up trillions of dollars worth of debt by issuing notes of debt?
Trillions in loans to banks. And joining us now in a rare and exclusive live interview is Jerome Powell, who is chairman of the Federal Reserve.
This man right here is part of the largest criminal cartel, the most deadly criminal cartel on the entire planet. Watch this. The Federal Reserve just pledged asset purchases with no limit to support the markets. How is the Federal Reserve going to purchase real assets? Fed balance sheet hits record as Powell says there is no limit to lending power. So not only are they going to buy assets, but they're going to lend something to the American people, to small businesses, to get Americans out of a jam. Because we, the Federal Reserve, are the heroes. Just like USA Today said, they're the unsung heroes of the coronavirus epidemic. That's what mainstream media wants you to believe. They want you to think the Federal Reserve is Superman, the savior, the Messiah. They're going to help us out. All they're doing is running the printing presses. If you and I did what the Federal Reserve does, we would be thrown in jail for counterfeiting.
Reserve, Mr. Chairman, good morning to you.
I'm not even going to watch the rest of this. I want you to see something.
Last month, Bernanke announced the Fed's intent to buy $600 billion in U.S. Treasury securities, which is supposed to have the effect of lowering rates on long-term loans for...
How are they going to buy $600 billion worth of anything? The only ammunition the Federal Reserve has in its arsenal is to roll and run the printing presses.
Things like cars and homes. Bernanke wanted to emphasize that these are the Fed's own reserves. It's not tax money, and it doesn't add to the federal deficit.
That is a lie. The Federal Reserve is not federal, and there are no reserves. All they can do is print money. All they can do is issue debt. All they can do is put ones and zeros in people's bank accounts. This is all fictitious, guys. 60 Minutes is running cover for them. ABC, NBC, CBS, MSLSD, Fox News, the Communist News Network, they're all in bed together because they're all owned by the Federal Reserve Zionist banking criminal cartel.
What did you see that caused you to pull the trigger on the $600 billion at this point?
It has to do with two aspects. The first is unemployment. The other concern I should mention is that inflation is very, very low, which you think is a good thing and normally is a good thing, but we're getting awfully close to the range where prices would actually start falling.
Inflation was very low. You know, the peasants out there, their dollar was very strong and could buy a lot of things. And so we had to pull the trigger on $600 billion and issue a whole lot of notes of debt and flood the market with worthless paper so we could bring the price of the dollar down, so we could bring the value of these fiat notes of debt in line, so that the sheep, the tax cattle, would have to work harder, longer, and use more of these to buy products and services. That's what happens when they pulled the trigger on $600 billion worth of debt. Let me just show you this. Look at these three. Janet, Powell, and Bernanke all sitting there, members of a criminal cartel, well-fed, no problems in their life, mainstream media laying cover for them. Let me tell you something. Counterfeiting is counterfeiting no matter who does it. Just like it's never right to initiate unjust force and violence on people who haven't done anything wrong, it's also wrong to initiate fraud. And that's what this is. So now we have a whole nation of sheep saying, not give me liberty or give me death. They're saying, give me liberty or give me debt. Give me that debt. Give me that stimulus money. People think it's real money. It's not. It's debt. You're on the hook for it. You will pay it off somewhere, somehow. And what this is going to do is it's going to make our prices go up. Look at the unemployment numbers. It's a vertical line right here. This is from the 1970s to today. 3.28 million people have filed unemployment claims. I'm going to show you three more things, and we're done. 18 USC 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. Whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom, willfully subjects any person, any state, territory, commonwealth, possession to the deprivation of rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution of the United States shall be punishable and imprisoned for any term of years and may be sentenced to death. Fraud is a deprivation of rights under color of legal tender. Look at this right here. Look what Powell is sitting behind right here. It says, Fed balance sheet hits record as Powell says there is no limit to lending power. And they're sitting behind this huge blown up fiat note of debt that says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. It's a lie. It's a construct of the mind. This is not based on anything sound. They're engaged in a criminal enterprise. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The more of these they print, the more value they steal from your own pocket, from your own bank account. They're siphoning off the time and laboring energies it took you to actually earn those dollars. Let me just refresh your memory. In this land, there's something called the Coinage Act of 1792. And down here in Section 19, it says, and be it further enacted that if any of the gold or silver coins, by the way, gold and silver is the only acceptable money in the United States according to the Constitution. If any of the gold and silver coins which shall be struck or coined at the said mint shall be debased or made worse as to the proportion of the fine gold or fine silver therein contained, or shall be of less weight or value, in other words, messing with the value of the money supply. If you debase the money supply in any way, shape, or form, you're guilty of transgressing the Coinage Act of 1792. And what's the remedy for that? Every such officer or person who shall commit any or either of the said offenses, that's debasing the money supply, counterfeiting, diluting the money supply, devaluing the money supply, shall be deemed guilty of felony and shall suffer death. And as mainstream media lays cover for the criminal cartel known as the Federal Reserve, I think we would do well to listen to the words of Woodrow Wilson. Since I entered politics, I have chiefly had men's views confided to me privately. Some of the biggest men in the United States in the field of commerce and manufacture are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere, so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive that they better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. That's exactly what Woodrow Wilson was talking about. This is exactly what the Coinage Act of 1792 warned us against. And this is exactly who lamestream media is laying cover for. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below. And I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.